Hi, and welcome to the Wake.Show. I am Chris Fisher, and happy Friday, everybody, and welcome. Get everything up and running here. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm wearing... let's start off with something pleasant, okay? It's been a rough week. It's been a rough couple of days. There we go. You can all look at my dog. What? My dog doesn't give you as much joy as it gives me? Well, that's crap. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday. They got you nice and tight in there. Look at that. So I wish I could show you guys everything. I mean, I guess I could steal her camera for a second because we have all new lights. All right. You see all these lights here right there in the corner? Now, usually we only have two in here, and one of them's pointed at me. I come in today, and there's three lights in here. None of them are pointed at me. Sam, you joined the show, and all of a sudden they start fixing the lighting around here. What the hell's going on?
I'm taking your job.
All right. There you go. Well, I'll get you back in focus over there. Also, we have a guest that we'll be bringing in here in just a little bit. Very excited about Ella Jett, who was here last night with Bake More Pies. So you just enjoy it. You just relax there on the couch for a little. Oh, don't turn the camera on me. I'm not ready. And we'll get to her coming up here in just a little bit. Want to get to stuff you should know. Make sure everybody's doing okay today. Also, Chris McCarty. I said I wanted to do him right at 11:20. So we'll get to him here in just a moment. Let me run down some of the topics today for stuff you should know. The cool thing about Chris McCarty is once Jonny left the show, man, we should talk to Jonny today too, because Jonny was here last night for Bake More Pies, and he's working for Senator Marco Rubio now. Mm-hmm. And I saw the senator on the House floor yesterday, very emotional. So I would imagine, Jonny has, something to add.
He said he has 3 phones and they've been maxed out on messages since yesterday with just emotional people calling him. Wow. So I think he would be good to talk to.
Yeah, I should have texted him yesterday. I feel bad. All right, so let's here's some of the things we'll be talking about today. Jimmy Kimmel, speaking of emotional, went after the president. Saying that he is mentally ill. So we'll come back to that story a little bit later on the show. Also, you see the Olympic ratings are down. Are you guys watching? You're not. We know you're not. Don't lie. Because we can tell by looking at the radio ratings that you are not watching. I am very excited tonight. Tonight is a date night where my wife and I, usually on Friday nights, on Friday nights it's date night and pizza night. And so there's a couple things. First of all, Charles, my good buddy Charles from Boulevard Burgers. And I know this is going to be kind of a personal story, but it's just really cool. Because it's a story that highlights, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because it's a story that highlights, it's an example of people, what happens when you think about other people more than yourself. So a couple of weeks ago, we're at a Boulevard Burgers, as my wife and I have a tendency to be at every now and again. And we run into the owner there, and Charles, super nice guy. I've gotten to know him over the last, I think, three years now. Met him through Jesse Cage. So we're talking about, because we had a Friday night date night at Boulevard Burgers. And so we told him that usually, we stay at home and I cook pizza. I'll bake a pie. And I tell him how I do it, just get the dough from Publix, and make it really simple. Just get a bag of cheese that's already shredded. I know you're not supposed to use that stuff. If you really want a really good pizza, you don't use the stuff that comes out of a bag. Why? Do you want to know why? Do you know why?
Why?
Because they have to coat that cheese with some kind of a waxy substance or something so the cheese doesn't stick together in the bag, when it's being shipped and whatnot. Ooh. So that, I guess, actually affects, the way your pizza is cooked, But the reason that I do use that... Oh... That's me. Oh, shit. Hold on. Damn it. Don't hang up, buddy. Don't hang up. Sorry about that. I thought that was you. I thought that was one of you guys.
No, I was wondering. I was like, wow, he must just...
No,
he's so good.
Well, yeah, I was ignoring the distraction, which I shouldn't have been doing. Hold on, let's call him back.
Is it Chris?
Yeah, it's Chris. All right, so you guys can see the guests today, Ella Jett, Royce Ringo, and Chris McCarty. So we'll come back to that. If Christopher would like to chat, yes, accept.
Well, I'm actually going to switch places with Ella.
All right, you got to go.
Goodbye and happy weekend. Happy Friday, everyone.
All right. Well, there you go. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Bye, Samantha. Thank you so much. Yeah. Did the social media thing work, or haven't you tried it yet? It did work?
Yep.
Oh, so all right, perfect then. Perfect. All right, perfect. All right, before we come to my in-studio guest, let's go to my, I don't even know where the hell Chris McCarty is. You're in I think you're in California, is that right? Whoa, wait. I'm not getting audio from you. Oh, you know why? My fault. I got to plug you in, my friend. My bad. How you doing this morning? How is California?
What's up, my friend?
There we are.
It's awesome. Hey.
Hey. See, I want to do a little one of these. Oh, no, I guess this is probably a better shot. Oh, wait, what am I doing? All right, Chris. So Chris McCarty had been coming into the studios, the last couple of weeks on a Fridays or Thursday. And so we started playing, hey, man, why don't you just start popping by Thursdays and Fridays, and we'll just chat, have a good time on the air. And then immediately after we said, you say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Shit started to happen for you, sir.
Yeah, like crazy. It's crazy. I guess you guys have all seen it.
Yeah, so it was only last week, right, that you had that Thursday night show at the House of Blues opening up for, what's his name again? Chase Rice. And then you had the following show. That was Thursday night. Then Friday here in Tampa, you opened up for him again, and he was like, hey, man, we'd like you to come on the road with us. So you want to drive to Atlanta the next day, so you drove your ass all the way up to Atlanta. And then what happened?
No, I didn't drive. I got in their tour bus. I got his tour bus.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's a cooler story. It's cooler if you do that, like take me with you like the circus. I'll jump on.
That's awesome. All right. So then what happened in Atlanta? Because how did you end up in California?
So what happened in Atlanta was Chase actually got a chance to watch because he was always doing meet and greets and interviews and whatnot. So it was the first time he actually got a chance to watch me. And he watched the whole set. And was like, hey, man, like, you're phenomenal. I'm like, thanks. It's like, I think you should maybe talk about opening up in the future. I said, man, I'd love to. It was great. And then I guess yesterday, the 14th was my birthday, and I just reached out to say thank you to him for the gigs. And he said, man, 2 minutes before the opening band, they couldn't get on because their visas didn't work. Would you like to fly out to Anaheim and open up? I said, absolutely. And he said, dude, this is God work. This is what he's saying. He said, this is God at work. He goes, there's no coincidence that you would text me 2 minutes after I got that, like, stomach-dropping report that we have no opener and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I came down and we did such a good job, had so much fun. I had everyone chanting Chase Rice. And then afterwards, when he came out, when they played their song Cruise, he called me out, introduced me. I sang a verse. Both of us arm in arm, listening to the crowd sing. I mean, it was cool. And so we got done.
Is that the same Cruise that Florida Georgia Line does?
Yeah.
So did he write that? He co-wrote that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, Jason's a really good songwriter, man. He's really good. We have a couple things we're working on already. Like as soon as I got on the bus, we went right in on different ideas of what we could do for the future. I mean, it was really impressive, and it's nice. So the crew's nice and everything. So it's good, dude. I don't know. It really feels like something very magical is happening. It just does. Everyone.
Well, I know. So you're a universe kind of a guy too. So those things sort of line up, pop, pop, pop. I know the bells are going off. The angels were singing in your head.
Yeah. I mean, I told people, and as soon as I get divorced, like if you're in a relationship that's not for you, things around you will fall apart. But once you get back to yourself and you leave that situation, things will go well. So I knew that once the divorce was final, which was in December, things are going to work. But I didn't know it'd be this fast.
All right. So where are you guys playing tonight? Or did you play last?
Same place. So they had 2 sold out shows. So yesterday was sold out, and we're doing the same thing again tonight.
All right. And did you? So you were on his tour? No, you flew out yesterday. So you didn't even hop on his tour bus. You actually flew.
Yeah, they flew me out, which was really cool.
Ooh, fancy.
They told me, and I think it was like 11 o'clock that afternoon, and then at 6 o'clock the next morning, I was on the way to California.
So what's next? How does this kind of stuff work? Because you and I have known each other for a very long time, and you've had those spurts, in your career where these kinds of things are happening for you. You're opening up for Dave Matthews. You're getting a spot on, America's Got Talent. So what goes through your head right now?
staying humble.
Chris, come on.
Humble,
we're friends.
Thinking about the things that I lost, thinking about the first time around when things were really great, what actions I would do differently, and just understanding my intentions. Just that's really what's going on. Like, stay for the music, for your kids, for people. Stay the light. Don't make it about you. If there's a message that you have to send, give the message, and be grateful that you get to see the cool things while doing it, because it can be taken away from you. I'm a prime example of that. So that's what goes.
All right. So how long are you on this tour? Do you know? What?
What was going through your head? I want to know what you're thinking. Like, we've been friends for a long time, and to see this, what's it like for you to see this? Be like, man, like, what's it like?
It doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me that, see, we've had these conversations, and when monumental things, when major events happen in somebody's life, to take a step back and try to watch the things that kind of go pop, pop, pop immediately afterwards is always fascinating to me. Not always. It's only been recently. And plus, I'm a little crazy. I'm sure there's nothing to it. So honestly, what went through my head was, this doesn't surprise me at all. You and I go to make this move that you're going to come in here every Thursday and Friday, and then the next thing you know, somebody scoops you up and you're off touring the country. So I think it's awesome. And I can't say.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because we share, and I want everyone to know just about life. It's just from what I'm seeing. A lot of people know that my best friend, we're soul brothers, Ernest Jackson. He passed away in August, and I've never felt a pain like this. And so, at being my birthday, that was the first year that I wasn't going to hear him say happy birthday to me, and I was really. You would have thought that I just got the news that he had passed away. It was just really difficult for me. And so, you get past that, and literally 7 minutes later, because when you're sad, you try to do nice things to make yourself feel good. So I was thanking Chase for the opportunity, telling him, hey man, like, for my year, those were the highlight of my year, because it was a rough year. And so for them, him then asked me to come and fly me out. Like, I mean, imagine that, like, you're so sad about life, like, and then you think that the person on the other side made that happen. You think the person on the other side said, hey, call that guy now, and then I just do. Like, after, like, really feeling him, and then this happens. I mean, you never know the answer, but it feels good to think that way. So I'm just going to think.
I love your outlook.
Yeah.
So what's next? How long are you going to be on tour?
Well, I mean,
do you know?
I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, honestly, it could be one of those things. Generally in music, let's say you get signed for a major label. What happens is you won't be seen or heard of for like a year. They take you off the shelf, you make a new album, and then they, push it. So you got to think in the same kind of sense, like, still music business. If they're into me now, they've already got a tour set up, made a long time ago. So we could probably see something happening in fall, maybe next spring on a more permanent basis if things keep going the way they are. So that's what, yeah.
Well, dude, we want to check in with you. We're losing. There you are. I don't know if you're going to call in every couple of days, or I'll just track you down every couple of days. We're just playing on from now on. Your Thursdays and Fridays. We'll just
yeah. No, I'll be there. This is something that I enjoy being with you. It's good to have man time. I don't have any other friends than you here, except for like Anthony, and like he's a dad too. And like so all my guy friends were all dads. So to see you, it's good to have some time. Uh-huh. Is Gord's there? Is Gord still there?
He is downstairs somewhere.
Okay, let him know I said I love him.
All right, I will. I love you, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Take care. Bye-bye. Chris McCarty, you can track him down on Facebook, chrismccarty.com. Download his music I was listening to him the other day. Whoa, damn it, I always do that. I'm so stupid. I'm sorry. This is what I always do. Because I use that Facebook Messenger thing, and I don't know why this is in my head, because, multitasking while I'm trying to, chat it up with you. And then what I'll do is I'll hit Command Q, which just closes out the entire, instead of shutting down the messenger, it closes everything. And so everything that I had pulled up for this morning disappears. But I think I've learned, right? There's a 9 tabs. There we go. Restore all tabs. All right. So I don't have to get too up. Luckily, there's a, I guess I'm not the only idiot. If that's available, I guess I'm not the only idiot. All right. Well, let's bring in now my in-studio guest. my in-studio guest. Ella Jett and Future Soul were here at Bake More Pies last night. For you guys that don't know, Bake More Pies is a digital marketing / production studio, blah, 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 here in Tampa. And so one of the things that they do is put on these concerts, these shows, I should say, that they stream live. So the band that was here last night, Jonny Torres was back.
Just reflect on the events, the tragic events from yesterday at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School down in Parkland, Florida. 17 lives were lost and 14 currently injured from that. And so we'd like
so the night started off a little bit somber. Let me bring in my guest now, the lead singer, Ella Jett there. Hi. Hi, how are you? Welcome in. All right, so it's good to have you here. And so I just go to pull up there, and it started over the beginning because we had queued up we queued it up to a part where there was fun and dancing and singing, but I guess it started over once I had to pull everything back up here, and I see that Jonny started the show. Well, you have to after something like that, acknowledging the tragedy of the day. So how do you as a performer get into the right frame of mind?
A lot of the time I like to light Palo Santo and sage before we start and really claim our space. Okay, is that a part of your routine normally? Yeah. That's very smart. So you can get yourself centered, get yourself in the right place, right frame of mind before you get going. It can be really difficult.
Well, listen, I want to say thank you for coming in. I'm excited. I want to learn about your band because I wasn't able to be here last night, and these things happen on Thursday nights, and Jonny Torres is now working for Senator Marco Rubio's office, which, by the way, I can tell why he was emotional like that, because it was a very long day for him as well, and a lot of people in government. And Marco Rubio, his boss, I saw him on the Senate floor, or I saw a clip this morning on Bay News 9 when he was on the Senate floor, and he was very emotional yesterday as well. So a lot of that swirling, but you come in, do what you do, get settled in. And how was the show? How was the set last night?
It was really awesome.
All right, good. You're proud of that. Tell me a little bit about the band there, Ella Jett and Future Soul.
Well, genre-wise, I don't really like to box us in to any kind of genre, but I guess you could say like soul, neo-soul, jazz, fusion. There's a little bit of rock.
All right, well, let me turn up a little bit here. I see you're not just a pretty front face for a band there. You're playing an instrument as well. How many instruments do you play?
I play mainly piano and guitar.
Just piano and guitar, the usual. And the piano and guitar. So what was the first song you started off with, and how do you decide? You guys did 5 songs? How many?
5 songs.
5 songs. How did you decide which 5 did you want to stream last night?
Okay, so my uncle taught me when I was a little girl the way that Paul McCartney does his set list, writes his set list. So it's like a W. So you start out with something like high energy, or I don't know, and then you kind of bring it down and come back in the middle, bring it down again, and then end. So that's usually how I write my set list.
Well, you said when you were a little girl. How old are you now? I'm just teasing you. I'm sorry.
I started gigging when I was 9. So it's.
And how old are you now?
I'm 20. I just turned 20.
20 years old. So you're not even old enough to play in all the bars here in town.
No, I'm not actually. The only way I get in is just because I play it there so often.
Well, I know that you don't. That some places will let you play especially if your dad or your mom comes with you. So do you ever play those gigs where a parent has to come with you?
No.
All right, I want to play a little bit more from last night here, and you said it was right around the 22, 23 minute mark, something
Should
like
be.
that. Yeah. All right, looks like we're in the middle of you guys jamming here. So tell me about the members of your band there. You got, it looks like you got 5, 6 pieces there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, my best friend Sarah Ferrer sings backup vocals, and then Dylan Reeder on the drums, Zach West on keys, Levi Foe on the bass.
How'd you meet? Are you guys all go to school together?
Well,
Is this uncomfortable? Do you not like the old you sitting in a chair and staring into a camera kind of a thing?
I'm a little bit socially awkward.
Yeah. What about up on stage? Or are you in character by then?
I wouldn't say character. I mean, I get really, really nervous before every show, but on stage I try and keep it calm and collected, at least for everyone else, even though inside I'm probably screaming.
Oh, really? Well, that it's very common. It's very common for performers to have that they're driven by some fear, some anxiety that fuels them. Mm-hmm. How long has your band been together?
August will be a year. Yeah.
And you got any record labels talking to you yet? Anything like that? Anything on the horizon?
Oh, not yet. We're kind of just working on putting out an album right now. On the down low.
On the down low?
A little bit on the down low.
You gonna make it a grassroots effort?
DIY style.
All right. So what are the aspirations for you and the band?
Right now, this album is kind of what we're focusing on, and then hopefully when this album is out, we'll do like a little Florida tour and start hyping it up.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the process. Like, how do you put the band together? You're the lead singer, so are you taking the lead on all the decisions in the band, writing, musically, who you're going to gig with, all that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. I book a lot of the shows as well as my uncle, which is our manager as well. But as far as the music, it's really a group effort. A lot of the time I'll bring an idea like a chord progression and some lyrics, and then it will build from there. Or maybe Sarah will come up with like a melody, or Zach will come up with a chord progression, and it builds from there. So it's.
What about formal training for you?
I have never taken a lesson.
Screw you, man.
In my life. I really want to, though. It's definitely something I want to do in the future.
Well, it just to me, it blows my mind. I love it. That there's so many people out there that have this amazing talent that I cannot relate to at all. And that is, you can just pick up an instrument. Or how old were you when you first picked up an instrument and started playing? I
was 9.
9 years old. So that you immediately started gigging?
Yeah. I think my first show was a charity event. I don't remember what it was.
Were you playing the piano?
I was playing a guitar that my mom got me from Goodwill. It was a classical guitar with electric strings on it.
But what when you first picked up the guitar at 9 years old, you got your first gig at 9 years old. You couldn't have been that proficient. Was it because you're a cute little kid and you're playing Tiptoe Through the Tulips, or you became very proficient very quickly?
It came really, really naturally for me. My mom actually was just telling me this the other day that like within 2 weeks I was singing and playing at the same time. And I didn't know that because I was so young. I just I barely remember the learning process, but I do remember it just being so fluent and easy for me from the get-go.
That's awesome. To be able to recognize what you're good at 9 years old. All right. So what's the future of the band then? When you lay down at night and you're thinking about the future of the band, what visions do you have for yourself?
I just want to spread the music to as many people as possible. Spread the good word.
All right. Well, let's listen to a little bit more here.
Well, I've got a secret, one simple thing. It's only from the heart that one can see rightly. The world's most beautiful things are filled with the heart. To me, you'll always be unique. The memory of you sparked my vision. You're beautiful, but you're empty. Now that I'm seeing clearly, it's clear to me that it's time to forget it.
Yeah, that's my comfort. This is my. You know how people have therapy dogs, therapy animals. This is my therapy. I put this on, and all of a sudden I feel comfortable. If I snuggle up onto a microphone like this, and I've got headphones on, I feel comfortable. Well, you were talking about your social anxiety, a little while ago, and it's only been recently that I think I've realized that I have the same thing, but I just channeled kind of like what she was talking about when she's up on stage. That nervousness gets turned into a performance. Mm-hmm. That social anxiety gets, I think, funneled into, just sit here and go like this for an hour and until it's over, Yeah. So talk a little bit about your anxiety, because that seems to be a very a common topic I don't want to say in your generation. I don't want to turn this into all millennials are anxious or this or that.
Or terrible.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. We're, for some reason, part of the big conversation out there is how this next generation is the end of everything, and it's just ridiculous. But there does seem to be some common storylines that are coming out, and one of them is this social anxiety.
So I feel like as a musician, all the attention is on you, and you feel a lot of pressure from the crowd. Like, I wonder if they're liking this, or I wonder if they like this song, I wonder if they like my voice. Like, there's all these things going through my head. But lately I've just been trying to think, like, this is our creative space, like, I'm not making this music for these people. I'm making it because I love it, and whether or not they love it is up to them. That's fine. They don't have to like it.
Oh, that sounds like you're an artist.
Yeah.
Well, how do you, when you're approaching a song lyrically, how do you approach it? Do they come to you in the middle of the night as epiphanies, or you sit down and grind it out?
Oh, it's funny you say that, because I feel like my best ideas do come to me in that, like, when you're either waking up or falling asleep in that, like, dream state. It's, like, easy to channel when you're in that, like, weird dreamy kind of state. A lot of our music is kind of dreamy sounding, so that would make sense, I guess. But yeah, and then I would just write it about my life, or things that have inspired me, or just positive messages that I feel like people need to hear and be reinforced in their minds.
When you're inspired to write it, are you inspired to write a song, or you can sit down and go, grab a pen, grab a paper, and go, okay, I need to inspire the world today, and I'm going to write about how puppies make me feel, and boom, you can just start writing?
I guess I could.
Kind of, sort of?
But that's not typically how it happens. Usually it will be something that triggers it, something that inspires me, where I'm like, okay, I need to write about this. Like, I feel it in every fiber of my being. Like, I need to, because a lot of the time it feels like something is coming through me when I'm writing, and it's not. It's my choice whether I want to sit down and listen.
I've heard that before, talking to people who write music, and one of the do you know Carry On My Wayward Son? Carry On My Wayward Son. Well, I was watching something on that recently, and the guy, whatever the member of the band that wrote that, they said it was like, you could have taken what he had written and turned it like into 5 or 6 or 7 songs themselves, but they put all these pieces together for the one song. Long story longer. He said the same thing, because it's very catchy. It's one of those things, one of the, I don't say the best rock, one of the best rock and roll songs, but it's one of the most recognizable rock songs of all time. And he said the same thing. He goes, he did not sit down and just go, okay, I'm going to do it. Just started to flow, and he started to go. And the next thing you know, you got Carry On My Wayward Son. That is so do you think do you think there is something flowing through you in that moment, or is it a psychological?
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what is it that's flowing through you then? The universe, God, how do you look at it? Yeah. Ancestors, all of it?
Yeah, God.
God's flowing through you?
That's what it feels like sometimes. It's like all of these thoughts are coming into my head, and it's like, I don't know. It's not me, it's something coming. That's what it feels like. Not saying... it depends on kind of God you believe in, but I believe in God as everything.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. Well, thank you so much for stopping in today.
Yeah, thanks.
It was really nice meeting you. I wish I was here last night. I have something on Thursday nights. That's why I can't be here, but it was cool. It's great when Jonny Torres can come back to a Bake More Pies, though. But it was a pleasure having you in here. And how do people track you down? Do you guys have some gigs coming up? Do you point them towards websites? But Ella, Jet, and Future Soul.
We are playing tonight at the Iberian Rooster at 10 o'clock in St. Petersburg. It's like a down basement speakeasy.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's an awesome spot.
So, it's a real. So you're going to be downstairs in that little place. So it's already sold out, then I would imagine, or.
Well, there's no tickets, so.
That's not a very big room. Yeah. It's a cool room, but not a big room. So all of you are going to get on that little stage.
Well, we can't all fit on the stage, so we're gonna.
A couple guys gonna be behind the bar.
We're gonna put Zach off onto the side because nobody likes Zach.
The Iberian. I have not been there since it's turned over to the Iberian Rooster. Before that, it was Moscato's Italian restaurant. So that's how I know that room from back when it was Moscato's. Awesome. But what a cool place that is.
Yeah, it's a really awesome venue.
Is there a cover to get in tonight?
No.
All right. Well, have a great gig. Thank you so much for coming by, and hopefully we'll have you on again soon.
Awesome.
All right. And by the way, there's nobody here to let you out, so you just walk out, open up that door, close it behind you, and head down the stairs, and you're on your own.
All right.
All right. Take care. All right. Then coming up here in about 10 minutes, Roy is going to be joining us. Roy Siringo, movie expert and critic here from Bake More Pies. We'll be talking to him. He saw Black Panther last night. So let me catch up and see if anybody's watching. Okay, got a couple people. And I want to say good morning to Stephen and Robert. The infamous W set list. Jeff Goodcharles, the silence is deafening when a loved one is gone. Oh. Hey, Fisher. From Charles. Hey, Jeff Goodcharles. God Charles. Thank you, Jeff. All right, let's hit some of this. Yeah. Jeff, I hope that doesn't mean the silence is deafening when a loved one is gone. I hope that doesn't mean you lost somebody. But yeah, like the Bake More Pies page, and that way you'll get and make sure you get notifications, and that way when they go live from here, you'll be able to you'll see it pop up in your feed when they have bands like this on. It's really cool. I wish I was here. I wish I would see Jonny. There's a part of me that wants to just message him now, but then I feel because I know he's got a lot of stuff going on. All right. Let's come back to some stuff you should know. There we go. I want to point out something. Listen, I'm not trying to I want your thoughts on this. I'm not trying. Damn it. Let me show you this. So this morning, going through and prepping and whatnot, I go to abcactionnews.com here locally, and I don't even recognize the site. At first I'm like, what the hell's going on? So after the shooting, they changed their site. So all this is up front, and they put this at the top. And then as you can see here, there's these squares, these rectangles here, just, one after another different links that you can click to find out different information concerning this, right? And then when you scroll down, you'll see that it gets into their page. When you scroll down, you see when you freeze. All right, so you see that, right? Then I go over to TampaBay.com, and I guess I think there's going to be the same thing. And the headline this morning, I see it's changed now, but the big main story this morning was about liquor laws and how it's easy to make money or something like that based off the new liquor laws or some shit like that. And I see now amid career source controversy, allegations of a love affair, big raises, and family favoritism. So I did find it curious. I thought that I was going to go to Tampa Bay Times and see the same thing, where right here at the top, you were going to see story after story after story, and everything be about the shootings. Now I know there's in the newsrooms, there's the back and forth and how much you give to this kind of stuff, because it's so depressing too. And it's not just one incident. It is incident after incident after incident. We're only in the, third week of February. And I want to say there's already been 8 school shootings this year, is what I heard this morning. 8. So now, right underneath it, then they get to the gun shop owners distraught over selling rifle to maniac who killed 17 at school. Oh, there's that Florida liquor license lottery can make you a ton of money. So that was their headline earlier. And then the Seminole Heights suspect's parents. So this is not to go, hey man, Tampa Bay Times, you're wrong on this. What are you doing? You should have this stuff up there. But it is more of a, I think you probably should. I think we probably should. Like for me coming in this morning, I wanted to do anything but talk about. It's Friday, man. It's been a long week. It would be a long week without 17 people being shot and killed here in the state of Florida this week. It would be a long week for a lot of people. So I don't want to talk. I don't know what else to say, and I don't know what else to say. How many times have we had this conversation? How many times have we gone down this path over the past few years? I don't know what else to say. So my brain starts going, okay, cool. Maybe we'll just focus on the positive news of the day and don't worry about it, right? No. We have to, because even though I don't have any answers and somebody else, this guy doesn't have an answer, that guy doesn't have an answer, you got to keep pushing this conversation forward, kind of in that old adage or vein of, you just keep knocking on doors. So you just keep having these conversations, and eventually one of these doors are going to open, and there'll be a breakthrough in the conversation. I don't know. You hear the professionals talk about this kind of stuff and go, you're never going to stop all of it. There's going to be tragedies. Get rid of all the guns you want. There still is going to be this kind of stuff. There's explosives out there. There's people. So you have to focus on, the mental aspect and what's going on in society and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things that I think is necessary is even if you're like me and you're supposed to be getting on and giving commentary, giving people something to think about, giving them hope that there's answers right around the corner. Even if I don't have any of that to offer up, I think that after something like that shooting, these kinds of things just need to stay to the forefront, no matter how. There's that saying too, that there's something about change is where the uncomfortable is or where the pain is or something along those lines. So these are uncomfortable pushing forward. I don't, it's got to be comprehensive. I hate when I'm listening to commentary and people are trying to say, no, it's not a gun issue. It's a mental health issue. And the other people are going, no, it's not a mental health issue. It's a gun issue. There's a lot of variables here at play that need to be addressed. I also am of the opinion that I don't know if there is any handful of laws that we could pass to or money spent somewhere that could change this. I think this is the I don't say birthing pains, but growing pains of humanity as we go from each phase to the next and in our evolution. So I fear that's what all this is, and then not all this is. Like I'm downplaying it. 17. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being insensitive. So shortly after this happened. All right. So again, it's not about TampaBay.com doing the wrong thing and not having this all up. And ABC Action News had it right and making sure that they got all this stuff up. Just something for those people in the news and entertainment professions to kind of think about. I know there's so much of it that I don't want to say you guys are trying to bury it. You aren't. But I feel like some of these conversations, the gun, this mass shooting thing, phenomenon, phase, and the sexual harassment, the Me Too, and all. I know people are getting tired of hearing about it. They just want it to go away, go back to the way it was, and just pretend. I can't take it anymore. But we have to keep having these uncomfortable conversations. So let's turn to Jimmy Kimmel then. If I can't come up with something, let's see what the late night talk is coming up with. Jimmy Kimmel is once again using his show as a political platform, encouraging his audience to vote out the office Republicans. Donate money to everytown.org, a gun control group seeking to end gun violence in the most aimed in America. I'm sorry. And the host aimed most pointed criticism at President Trump, saying, You're obviously mentally ill. You've literally done nothing on guns, Kimmel complained. Actually, you've done worse than nothing, he said. You like to say this is a mental health issue. One of your first acts as president, Mr. Trump, was to roll back the regulations that were designed to keep firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. Your party voted to repeal the mandates on coverage for mental health. So I agree. This is a mental illness issue because if you don't think we need to do something about it, you are obviously mentally ill. All right. And I saw this morning, too, the reading of the names. And that's what changed my my thought on it, as far as, how to include it into the show today and what to talk about, is because, like I said, I was leaning towards, let's just stay away from the heavy stuff and just have some fun. Roy just walked in. We want to talk about Black Panther. Let's talk about the movies this weekend. But when they started reading the names this morning, they're just going one after another, and they're showing their faces one after another, that obviously humanizes it for you, puts it in perspective. As you can see, my eyes are getting leaky just thinking, reflecting on it. And so I knew it was something that we'd have to keep talking. We not have to, that we need to keep talking about. We need to keep pushing forward, even if it seems like we're just ramming our head up against the same old conversations, and it seems like we don't have any answers. Keep pushing, keep talking, and something will break. Something will push through and get through. So. We are going into the weekend. Happy 12 o'clock, everybody. There's a lot of you heading to lunch or at lunch already. And some movies. My wife is heading out to the movies. Let me just go ahead and bring in Roy first. How you doing, Roy?
I'm good.
Welcome back to the show. Hold on, let me get you a fancy little. There we go. Your upper third.
Wow.
Upper third, not even lower third.
Right
upper.
There. Nice.
All right, so we're going to talk about the Black Panther, but first I have to tell you that my wife is going to the movies tonight, but she will not be seeing Black Panther. She has a date night with one of her BFF, and they're going. I know this isn't going to surprise anybody. They're going to see 50 Shades Freed. Okay. Have you seen any of these at all? You don't even care.
No, don't really.
Oh, okay.
No. I heard that it was a fan fiction. It started as a fan fiction for the Twilight series. So if you follow Twilight, if you read it, I only got to like 2 pages and I stopped reading.
Yeah.
It's basically the same story line and the same story beats that the author of 50 Shades decided to just change the characters around, and it got a lot of momentum. A lot of people started digging the story.
Oh wait, you're saying that if you read 50 Shades, the 50 Shades series,
it's the same story.
It's the same,
just different characters.
But can't you say that about a lot of books? A lot of movies are basically the same as this. It's just you switch out a couple
that's
things.
pretty much it.
Okay, like it's not close enough where she had to pay, or E.L. Stein.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, well then let's not talk about 50 Shades Freed.
But I didn't like Twilight either. I know that might offend some people, but I didn't like Twilight.
I did.
The book or the movies.
I did not. I'm with Roy on this one. I was coming out of the Harry Potter series. And so I was like, well, I liked Harry Potter. I didn't know I was going to get into Harry Potter like I did. That was kind of a surprise. So maybe I'll like this Twilight thing too. And no, I try to give a minimum of a 3-chapter read when I get into a book, but it just did not connect. It almost made me angry.
Yeah.
And there was something about her character specifically I just hated.
It made millions. It sold a lot of copies. I'm not going to, bash it. Like, there's obviously a market for it.
Right.
But to go from J.K. Rowling to Stephanie Meyer is, I don't know.
All right. So enough of that nonsense.
That's a challenge.
Let's talk about the movie that will be setting records or looking to set some records this
weekend. It already
weekend.
set some records.
Okay.
So I think it's, if not the highest, the second highest pre-sales for a comic book movie.
Okay. I know leading up recently they were talking about how it was outpacing. So here we go. Black Panther's previews are exactly...
That's my phone. Sorry.
What's breaking around here? Exactly. And reporting 25.2 million this morning. That was for just the Thursday, right?
Yes.
This is the second best. Okay, so here you go. This is the second best Thursday ever for a Marvel movie after Avengers Age of Ultron. Did 27.6 million. So it's going to be a big weekend for.
I want to know.
We already knew it was going to be a bad.
I mean, like they're saying that it's the second best Thursday ever, but I actually went last night at a 10:15 showing, and half my row was empty. I was expecting more of a crowd. I was expecting to like sit down next to somebody like I didn't know, but like my whole basically.
Yeah, I was in the middle.
Out. I was in the middle of the last row. This side was full, and this was completely empty.
I just noticed your shirt, by the way. What a great shirt.
Hey.
Here, let me zoom in on that a little bit here.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
That's great. Sorry for my ADD. Sorry for my ADD there, everybody. Roy and I were talking a little bit earlier, and I thought you were going to be like, "Oh man, I can't wait to talk about Black Panther." And I don't say, were you underwhelmed?
No,
okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I didn't. It was a really good movie. It was a really good movie, but not that good.
Okay.
So like, if you compare it, so like, I actually posted something on Instagram, my top where Black Panther sits on my top comic book movies, and so like, it's for me, and this is just my opinion. It's The Dark Knight, Logan, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, and then Black Panther. So Black Panther sits 6 on my top comic book movies.
Okay, all right. So that's huge.
I liked it better than Thor, Thor Ragnarok, or all 3 Thors. I liked it better than the Iron Man movies.
Okay,
but I think, and we were talking about this earlier, the greatest accomplishment of Black Panther is the cultural shift in movies that contain an all-black cast. Because this is literally an African story. So it's one of those things. One, it's an all-black cast that up until this time doesn't sell well. It's not marketable. People have tried it before. All-black casts tend to come up with, become cult classics like House Party or
what about like Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
So okay, so they'll become awesome cult classics, but they're not making the money.
Yeah, at the box office.
Okay.
So they don't sell worldwide. So this is changing things. This is, this is becoming a worldwide phenomenon, and it's a good story, regardless of what what race or what culture is portraying the majority. It's just a great story in general. I want
to ask you a little bit more about the race in Hollywood there, because I was talking to Chris McCarty, who will be on the show every now and again. He's like, growing up, I asked him if there were any black superheroes that he, which was he drawn towards, and he goes, no, I didn't think like that as a little kid. The superheroes were just superheroes. I didn't think about black ones or white ones. I wanted to be Wolverine.
Yeah.
And he goes, I wish we weren't talking so much about race when it comes to this movie. And I understand where he's coming from, but I think that's where we are right now. I think one day that will be, that will come true. I don't know if it's 5 years down the road or if it's another 50 years down the road. But for right now, this is still, unfortunately, in 2018, still breaking down walls and barriers.
Yeah, there's a political undertone in Black Panther that isn't in your face. So it's really well done as far as subtext goes, but it's not like you're not going to get preached to about, Black Life Matters or like Blue Life Matters or anything Life Matters. It's more of, can I tell the storyline without spoiling it?
Yeah.
So the whole storyline, the basic theme of it is Wakanda is this utopian country / existence within Africa, right?
Okay.
So from the get-go, they're technologically advanced, they're physically advanced, and this is like, this is utopia. But they've hidden themselves from the rest of the world. So they live in this kind of like bubble, literally a bubble, somewhere in Africa. And they only get meddle into world affairs when they have to. And the and the main opponent is like, you knew about this, you knew what you guys are capable of and what you had at Wakanda, and we're suffering, and you don't do anything.
Ah, interesting.
And so, like, why should you be selfish and keep that to yourself? So, I mean, that's the extent of politics it is, but it's not.
So it's basically like a commentary in the West turning their back on Africa.
Pretty much, because Wakanda is pretty much the, hey, this is our place. This is, you know, we keep this sacred. It's not for anybody to share. But the storyline doesn't make Wakandans evil at all. It's just, you know, obviously it's a place where anybody would love to go and live.
Hey, because they have flying vehicles and stuff too, right?
They're way advanced.
Okay.
Basically, they're smarter, they're richer than Tony Stark's and Bruce Wayne combined.
All right.
Pretty much.
But a good story. So a couple of things that I was reading. One is that the cast.
Yeah.
That the cast is amazing.
Amazing.
And almost outshine the lead himself.
Yeah, I would say so.
They didn't say it in a bad way. What I was reading, they didn't say it in a bad way.
It was evenly shared, the spotlight.
One of those things. Well, is it done on purpose? Where, you know, we're going to see now movie after movie after movie based on these the supporting cast as well, where they're the center of.
Well,
everything?
I saw them on. They got a lot of FaceTime on the Infinity Wars trailer.
Okay.
So I'm assuming there's, you know, they're treated equals as far as, I think it's less of Black Panther as the main hero of the story, and more so the Wakandans are the heroes of the story.
All right, can you give me a little bit more history or a better understanding of the race thing in Hollywood? Because you were saying it's been tried before. You try to do movies with all black actors, and traditionally they don't do well at the box office.
Yeah, I don't know what the psychology is, to be honest with you, but like even trying to get something greenlit with an all-black cast, or like even an all-minority cast for an American, quote-unquote, an American like production, doesn't fly. Because like the last issue they had was Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt was this movie that came out like maybe like a year or two ago, and that had so many backlash because all the Egyptian gods were white, except, you know, one. And then all the slaves that surround them are African, Egyptian, Middle Eastern. So it's like, but Ridley Scott was like, he was commenting, he's like, if I go to my investors or I go to my production company and said, hey, I want to cast Mohammed so-and-so as the lead, I'm not going to get any money.
Right, because they don't care that you're trying to, try to be more historically accurate and this and that. They're like, no, if you want me to invest my money, then you tell me you've got some big names hooked to this project, or else I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Christian Bale can sell Moses, you know? Hey, who do you want for Moses? Christian Bale. Sure. Okay.
I'm in.
Like, yeah.
Right.
Like people will go, all right, well, he's a recognizable face. He sells a lot of movie tickets. So if you cast him, yeah, we'll invest. On one end, I understand. I get it. You know, investors want to make sure that they get their money back, so they want the most assurance that people will go watch movies. On the same end, it's on the other end, it's like it's frustrating to go. You know, even with Ghost in the Shell, which was a very Japanese story, not even an Asian story. It was a Japanese story with Japanese historical significance of the Japanese future. And this starred Scarlett Johansson. Okay. Who plays the anime
Japanese woman?
A Japanese woman. Oh my God. I think one of the leaks from Sony was actually an email saying, "Can you make her look more Asian?"
Oh, geez.
So, like, for me, that cut deep. I was like,
"What do you mean? What do you mean?"
Like, there's 2 billion Asians,
right?
You can't get one really good actress. I mean, there's some pretty phenomenal Asian actresses. Hollywood, Chinese theater is taking over America.
But it's so funny. You know, it's a good thing that these studios have their side studios, their second studios, where they, you know, they don't spend as much money, but they're still trying to get some projects out there. But it's we forget that this is a business, and they don't give a shit. They're like, I don't care that you guys are trying to be historically accurate. Look at this, I want to make sure I get my money back. So make sure that, you know, Scarlett Johansson's in my next movie. I don't give a shit that so and so from Japan is a great actress, because she's not going to sell tickets. So what is the is there an answer to that? And is it there Fox, Searchlight, and those other studios? Are they doing a good enough job of?
Yeah, for the most part, the shifting tide is slow but turning. So there is, especially when the China market and the Indian market is surpassing, you know, American box sales. Just because of who they are. So like more Hollywood productions are being funded by China.
Huh.
Well, the Chinese market.
Okay.
So a lot of
the Chinese are like, we don't want any Chinese in these films. It's not going to sell any tickets.
So pay attention.
Put Scarlett Johansson in there.
Pay attention to the end credits and the opening credits of a lot of movies. You'll see some Chinese funding. All right. Some Chinese productions.
I always just assumed those were the animators in the film.
Racist.
Yeah, of course. It's my ignorance coming to play there. So you were talking about your list.
Yeah.
And this was just superheroes. Just superhero list. The top of the list is what?
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But the second one on your list is Logan.
This is Logan. You didn't like it?
I did. Well, it was very. I want to go back and watch it again. I feel like I need to watch it again. It was a really good movie. It just definitely didn't feel like a superhero movie.
That's what I like. I like when superhero movies don't look like superhero movies. Then again, I love seeing a Captain America or, you know, the Civil War where they're pretty comical. You know, like Thor Ragnarok was pretty comical. I enjoy that. But what I love the most is these pretty epic storytelling that I could see happening outside my door. Because I can't really see that with Ant-Man or, you know, Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy. They're fun. I love them. But like something about the Dark Knight, I think that can happen. And, you know,
has Guardians of the Galaxy changed the way that sci-fi is done?
I think it changed the way humor is done. Because now, like, what I notice is Thor Ragnarok. If you've seen Thor Ragnarok,
nope.
People are starting to implement more of the Guardians / Chris Pratt type of humor. And who's the other guy from Hangover that plays Rocket Raccoon? Rocket.
Oh, is that Cooper?
Cooper. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper.
So they have this, you know, this unique kind of humor about them, and I think that's what really brought out the comedy in Guardians of the Galaxy.
So it's kind of like making sure everybody is a Han Solo type of character.
Yeah. So what they're gonna do, and this is just my opinion, because I think Thor Ragnarok really took notes from Guardians of the Galaxy. I think more people are going to take notes of Deadpool, and they are. Like, you know, Logan really had the opportunity to become what Logan was because Deadpool did such a good job being rated R. So now they're
and that's another thing. Traditionally in Hollywood, movies like that were rated R didn't do very well up until Deadpool, right?
Yeah, up until then, I think Blade might have been the last comic book rated R movie, the Blade series.
Was reading Wesley Snipes was talking about how he was pushing for a Black Panther back in the day. I guess back in the 90s, he was trying to get the funding together, and he was probably running into all the stuff that you were talking about there when he's trying to. But what they were able to do was Blade, and he was talking about how difficult it was to get Blade off the ground. But one of the things that he thought was brilliant in the first movie, if I remember correctly from what I read, is they didn't directly address race, I guess, in the first Blade at all.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Just a vampire movie. Mm-hmm. They didn't address that at all. In the second movie, the second Blade, they inserted one little thing. It was a line like the bad guy says to him like you don't even blush or something, or you don't blush, or something about blushing, right? Was the only thing that alluded to racial tension at all. But that's something that they did not want in the Blade movies. Poor Wesley Snipes. He wanted to be Black Panther so bad.
He could have been in his prime.
Yeah, he'd have been great.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd have been great back in the day. But looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah. So
were people cheering at the end?
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Nobody was cheering. Everybody was falling asleep. There might have been like maybe 5 minutes where I was dozing off, but that wasn't because of the story of the movie. It was because I was watching it late last night because we were watching Ella Jet and Future Soul.
Future Soul, yeah. That was cool. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was working while you guys were live here.
I went straight there to the movie theater.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Roy, we will see you next week. What do you got for us next week? Do you know yet?
I don't know what comes out next week. Annihilation, maybe?
Annihilation. All right. We will talk to you then.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this then. Hey, don't forget your phone. Got through the stuff you should know. Let me pull that up again quickly. Make sure that I got to everything that I wanted to get through today. Ellen Jen, Chris McCartney, I don't know. I guess the transgender breastfeeds. Okay, that was a story. I'm sorry for giggling over that. But transgender breastfeeds was okay. We're going to hit that before we move on. Because it's very fascinating science. And no, I'm not going to show you a transgender woman breastfeeding. So here we go. When a transgender woman, we'll go ahead and bring this stuff back up here. When a transgender woman, boom. See, one day, I thought that I would be able to like run all this stuff and be the host. I don't know. That's not happening. But one day, hopefully one day, we'll get somebody can handle all the buttons here. All right. When a transgender woman told doctors at a hospital in New York that she wanted to breastfeed her pregnant partner's baby, they put her on a regimen of drugs that included an anti-nausea medication licensed in Britain and Canada but banned in the United States. Within a month, according to the journal Transgender Health, the woman, 30, who was born male, was producing droplets of milk. Listen, I'm sorry if you are transgender and this is very exciting. You just saw my face and I was grossed out. That was just a natural reaction. That's not how I feel intellectually. That is just how I feel naturally. It just seems so. All right. So within 3 months, 2 weeks before the baby's due date, she had increased her production to 8 ounces of milk a day. That's milk coming out of a man. I mean, I know. In the end, the study showed she was able to achieve sufficient breast milk volume to be the sole source of nourishment for her child of 6 weeks. I mean, it's what I mean. The reactions that you had been seeing, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, it's beautiful. It's love. It's beautiful that we're able to do stuff like that. Breast milk is considered the best form of nutrition for infants. Breastfed babies have healthier immune systems, score higher on IQ tests, and may be less prone to obesity than other babies. Advocacy campaigns have noted that the practice of some hailed the case study published in January as a breakthrough for transgender families. Others called it dangerous and disturbing. But if confirmed in wider studies, the regimen could represent a next major stage in transgender parenthood. Breastfeeding for transgender women have not been a... Well, we all learned from Meet the Fockers that you can milk anything with nipples. Sorry, that's what I get for messing around with my cameras during the show. Now they're all out of whack. All right, so that was that transgender story that I want to tell you about, the baby breastfeeding story. All right, it has been a long week for everybody. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Hug your loved ones. Tell everybody that you care for, that you come in contact with, that you love them. And have a great and safe weekend. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday morning in the Wake.Show. Have a great day.